Hello, welcome to Soulprint. This is going to be another mini. I want to take a look at, I think it was yesterday morning, on Monday morning. Um, there were 6 new states, I guess, that have opened up for early voting. So I want to take a look and just take a quick peek and see what's going on at polling centers and see what the energy is around those polling centers. Okay. There are a lot of people. That's going to be one of the things that you just continue to hear is, unprecedented numbers, people lined up, down the street and around the corner. Early voting is going to be heavier this year than it has ever been before. Pretty much across the board. Pretty much across the board. Um, you know what? I'm not seeing. Like there might be some sort of guys hanging around looking mean and grumpy with mega hats on their heads, but I'm not actually seeing a whole lot of anything interrupting or disrupting people trying to get to the polls to vote. Okay, that it feels as if um as of now, those people who are doing all of the early voting are safe. Okay, so um I'm seeing drop boxes that are safe. I'm seeing them getting dropped off at sort of an official building. I don't know if that's like a voting headquarters or something. I'm not sure what that is. And they're showing me the long lines of people who are simply voting earlier before the election. So the voting is going really, really well. And and because the voting by Democrats or left-leaning independents is really, really strong. You're also seeing voters who, you know, are, Republicans or right leaning independents. They are also voting. Okay. And for a lot of them, they're not voting for Trump. It's really, really, really important that those down ballot races um, give Kamala and Tim the the base that they need, the votes that they need to get stuff pushed through. So those down ballot races are really, really important. And it feels as of right now, like um things are going to go in the way that, we all would like them to go. But they can't be ignored. We can't, you can't like back away. There's still stuff that needs to get done and needs to get done um, in an orderly, logical way. About 2 or 3 days before before the election, they're telling me that Trump is going to declare victory. He's not even going to wait for the 5th. He's going to declare victory. And in many, many ways, that's just going to make him a laughing stock. Um, because it's pathetic enough when you declare victory and you barely gotten, California's results yet, but it's quite another thing to declare victory several days ahead of voting. Okay, so you've got that going on. And if you saw the video from yesterday where I was talking about what's going on behind the campaign, there's an actual realization there that he has really, really come unglued and unhinged. And there's two minds and they're battling. One is I don't care what it takes. Get him to the election. We can deal with him after he's elected and we have the White House. And then there's this other group who were like, let him say whatever he wants to say and do whatever he wants to do, because the more outrageous he is, the more attention he draws away from the good press, basically, that Harris Wall's team is creating. And they're just so immersed that they're, for the most part, almost failing to see how incredibly unhinged Donald Trump is. Okay. So the other thing that I want to point out, or I'm being told to point out, is that because so much money was funneled from the RNC straight to Trump, and the down ballot races got virtually nothing. And Laura Trump had said that like weeks and weeks and weeks ago. She made no bones about it. She said every cent that comes in is going straight to him because he needs to win this. He needs to be president again. So it's not like they were hiding, the fact that they're not giving money to anybody other than Trump. But because of that, you have very weak and like disorganized ground games. And so Republicans are not being as effective with the whole get out the vote thing. They don't have as many volunteers. It's just chaos. And for people who have worked with Trump and around Trump, whatever, this sort of chaos is almost par for course, right? But it's ridiculous because nobody seems to know what's going on and who's doing what. And so the basic things like phone calls to remind you to go vote, finding out if you need a ride, whatever those kinds of things that campaigns typically do, that's not happening so much on the Republican side because there isn't the money, there isn't the time, there isn't the volunteers, and they can't keep up with trying to pivot away from whatever crazy thing, he's talking about. But what I'm being shown, what I'm seeing, is that as of right now, it really does look like the voting is going to sort of unfold with a lot of calm. Okay. People are going in, they're voting, they're coming out. There is not a lot of back and forth discussion going on around people in the lines, that kind of thing. Everybody's sort of keeping to themselves a little bit. And I have to say, there are a good number of women whose husbands would be incorrect about which way the little woman is voting. So that's a good thing, too. All right. This is a really short one, but they're not showing me anything. It looks like for right now, things are good. And listen, I'm not saying that every single place, every single voting station is not going to have something. But what I'm getting is that whatever it is, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of effort or force or even aggression behind it. It feels more like, we're going to stand across the street like this and give you dirty looks. Well, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. But that to me is not something that is aggressive. That's just people standing across the road looking or trying to look tough. That's so. Yeah, there's going to be a few things here and there, but by and large, particularly what I'm looking at is sort of this early voting piece of time. It's looking like it's just going to keep ticking along. The numbers are going to be amazing. There is, if people thought that the early voting in 2020 was record breaking. This is absolutely what's going on now is absolutely going to be shattering those um those records. You have double and triple and quadruple the number of people early voting now than before. So watch out for that. That's going to be, those numbers are going to be quite staggering when we actually are able to see them. Um, and for those of you who did not catch it or see it, or, you know, um, when Kamala Harris did the Fox interview, I think the network drew, I think it was 7.1 million viewers. The town hall thing or whatever the heck Trump was doing the same night at the same time. I think it was either 1.2 or 2.1 million. So she again, right in the water. And you have to think a lot of those people watching Fox News were actually people who normally watch Fox News and had to admit that the woman seemed to know what she was talking about. So what does that do to Trump, right? It just sends him spiraling. And this is the thing. He hasn't stopped spiraling for weeks now, and he's going to keep on spiraling because not only do you have the whole election insanity, but you've got that whole legal insanity that's going on and information that's coming out and being reviewed and, court cases or deadlines coming up that are not after the election. So a lot going on. But it's going to end up being okay. It's going to re-cement for the vast majority of Americans that they have a great deal to be proud of, to be happy about, to be relieved. And more importantly, this election is going to basically allow other parts of the world to just inhale and exhale, because it really does feel like other countries have been holding their breath going, oh my God, what if? Okay. My goodness, that's what I know. This is a kind of a weird little add-on, but for those of you who are maybe new to my channel, every time I wear this top, I get either emails or comments saying, oh my God, where did you get that? Oh my goodness, did you knit that? Oh my goodness. It's the cutest little thing, okay? I don't know. It was bought retail. It's probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old by now. But it's a great little top. I especially like it for transitional, right? Like to go from, a fall into the colder wintry temperatures or, the colder temperatures and slightly warming ones going into spring. Okay, so that's I know. I have any information on you, how to get the sweater or where the sweater came from, I do not know. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my goodness, you guys are just amazing. Don't forget to put your questions in the comment section below, and I will look forward to seeing you again, probably tomorrow. Take care now. Bye-bye.